hear me this whole time. I'm so sorry. I hope you can hear me now. And good morning. Absolutely. What a rough start to the stream. I am so sorry about that. I'm gonna restart things so I can pretend like that didn't happen. Um, Hi, my name is Grant. I'm here on behalf of MythCraft. We're gonna be doing some Q&A. We're gonna be doing some review, and we're going to just hang out for a little while. You guys can co-work with me. Um, Getting all the stream announcement and everything up right now, but hopefully you can hear me. Let's go over. Let's get some non-copyrightable music playing here. There we go. Nice. Update. Yeah, you can hear me now. That's awesome. What's a good title? Join us. Hello, how's it going, Waco? I got started a little slow, so we're promoting the stream live. Join us right now, live on YouTube. Grant is hosting. Can you see me? Grant is hosting a Q&A review and all things MythCraft. There's a reason this music is royalty free, you know? Is that as good as we're getting? I feel like I had a playlist before that was like actually pretty good. Grant's hosting a Q&A review and all things MythCraft on YouTube. Hop in if you want to hang out or have any questions. Should that be number 1? Maybe that should be number 2, number 3. Hello, how's it going? Getting started a little late, so we're co-working. Is what's happening. What a good thumbnail. Bless me. Morning coffee together, you and me. I don't know how to change the thumbnail though. Hello. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone has a nice cup of coffee. Some coffee ASMR going on. Now everyone here gets the first ever sneak peek of our miniature. Actually, second sneak peek since I put this in a TikTok yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw my excellent TikTokery last night when I was supposed to be sleeping, but you know. Look at this. So we got we've approved our first sculpt of our mini line. I don't know if we'll get to 250, but if we do, you get some really cool minis. This is the Cleric Marcus Luxor. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to download it. Pretty cool, isn't that? Miniature preview. I also don't like my numbers for this. This is going to be number 2. This is going to be number 3. This is just a free playlist, guys. Don't leave me alone about it. What's everyone drinking? Got any tea, folks? Coffee, folks? Favorite energy drinks? Ooh. Stretch goals unlocked. 100k in reach. Whee! Monster. Yeah. Hot chocolate for breakfast? But are you in the EU? What time is it over there? What's the UTC right now? Is no one just having coffee? Well, hey, everyone. E-Dink. Gatorade. Just love Gatorade. This music is not my favorite for morning. Need something a little more chill. Thank you, everyone, for all of your support thus far. We are smashing expectations in every way. 6:30 a.m. to your PST. Well, no, I don't know where you're at. PST would be 7:30, so you're further west. So you're what, Alaska? Where are you at, Sean? Wait, sorry, I don't need to dox you. Where is it? Can you Google it? Where is it? 6:30 a.m. The world clock. Here we go. This is cool. It's not 6:30 anywhere. Well, surely it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Madmen. The way that this website is laid out, I just want you to see what I'm looking at so you don't think I'm insane, but like, it's not like in numerical order like you would expect it to be. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do 6:31 a.m. Yeah, you're in Alaska, aren't you? Hey, I got that. I got that. I was right. I guessed it. What was I doing though before I got that? Okay, miniature preview. at the Good Morning Rusty Porter. Welcome to MythCraft stream where I woke up late, and so now everyone gets to watch me work and drink coffee. Every time someone says good morning, we'll take a sip. At the 250k level, all sorts of good stuff unlocks. I should just do co-working streams all the time. I can work and stream then. I'm like multitasking. We're glad to have you, Chris. How long will this Q&A go? I have so little experience streaming. Couple hours, 3 hours. I'm gonna get through some update work type stuff, and then I will get into MythCraft review, and I'll just take questions while we go. So I might look at some other Kickstarters too. I'm not sure. Let's see. Like Elfshade just brought up the Mage Hand Press Kickstarter. I kind of want to check that out. Thanks for subscribing, Rusty. I just saw that. It just popped up on my phone. I hope I didn't dox anything important. No one screenshot that. Good morning, Samuel Burris. Okay, working. 250k, all sorts of good stuff. Woo! Special counsel. That is incredible. Demo campaign on next week. I'm home. That'd be amazing. We love the people who have playtested. I was so nervous about playtesting because people were always like, playtest, 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 and then you gave them the stuff, and it's like, you're out there now. And so far, it's been really, really good feedback, especially on the like AP system and the magic system. So I'm really excited for more playtests. I feel like that's like our next step to marketing this thing, is getting more play out there. That's not us, right? But like letting people review the game, letting people play the game. It just takes time for people to record videos and stuff. Including 2 sets of 5 miniatures. Here is a sneak peek at our cleric mini. Add image. MythCraft miniature preview. All right, alt text. Image of a cleric mini in multiple poses. Unlocked at 250k. We don't need anyone to click on that. So that's just the alt text, everyone. That is for accessibility for people who, that can't see or read. Not that they can't read, you know what I mean? Like they can't read letters on a screen for whatever reason, like whether it's the brightness or whether they have vision problems or whatever. They can get screen readers and they can still surf the internet like you and me, if people take the time to build their website correctly and put in things like the alt text. I'm sure you wanted to know that. I'm sure that's what you're here for, right? It also allows translators to work. Who you have lined up to do a video or an ad on MythCraft? We have a few we're waiting for. We have an Enrolled video coming out. Andy'd be the best person to ask as far as like interviews go. As far as like playing the game, we're still trying to reach out and get people to do reviews and previews. So far, all of them that we have gotten that we've wanted to preview have wanted paid for it, and that doesn't really help us because we don't want to like bias them. We want like real reviews and stuff. So I think it's because we're new. This is our first Kickstarter, so I think we just have to like continue to grow it and attract people to it. I think also once the what's that black and white really cool Kickstarter coming out? It's like a Shadowlands, I think, or Shadow something. I think once that closes up in a few days, I think we'll get some more attention, because right now it's sucking up a lot of space in the room, so to speak. Can't remember what that one's called. Y'all, I'm never gonna get this done. I keep getting distracted. Shadow. It's Shadow something. Although I don't know if this is actually affecting us or not, because it's the polar opposite of our game. It's a like rules light OSR type thing. I think it's Shadowlands or Shadowrun. Never gonna find it. But they're doing really well. Shadow Dark. No. Found it. This is it. So this is the game that I think is hurting us the most right now. No offense to them. Obviously, Rising Tide, blah, 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 all that stuff. They are making a like old school style game that is, it's a little bit more rules light. So it's like one book, I think, and it's like everything's kind of combined together. Art is amazing. It's definitely got that old school feel to it. So I think once this ends in a couple weeks, I think we'll be able to get some more attention from like influencers and reviewers and things like that, because right now they've got 7 days to go. Since this is doing the best, all of the people who make videos content are going to do that, because that's what's most popular right now. So I'm hoping we can get some attention after they, I don't want to say fuck off, but like wrap up after they wrap up. Because, man, I'm all about new TTRPGs getting out there. We would be so honored to unlock the Get Physical tier. And yeah, it definitely sounds interesting. It's hard to not view it as competition, because like it's just hard. People in this niche talk about it like they want to niche down even further, right? They want to niche from TTRPGs into like specific types of TTRPGs, and like, oh, it's not defined. And it's like, we already have such a small audience. It's already TTRPG players. Like, we should all be in this together, right? Like, every single person we attract to this hobby is good for almost every game out there. Hello, Pierre. Good morning. Having some coffee, doing some work. Glad to have you. In every way, and are well on the path to unlocking hardcovers for everyone. That's the one that's still locked. Hardcover book upgrade at 100k and mock-up of the core rulebook. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm sort of at work now too. I would love to get into a flow where I can co-work with y'all like once a week. It's hard. It's hard completely dedicating all my brain space to one thing. But I'd love to figure something out where we can do this once a week. I don't know if it'll happen. Maybe. It's hard when you have I run a couple businesses and have a couple kids, and also have trouble like staying super focused. So I don't know how entertaining it is for me to be streaming, jumping all over the place, watching me upload graphics and stuff. Okay, so joining us live on YouTube. Let's just double check that link because I'm paranoid. I would love to get into that's me. Join us right now live on YouTube. Exclamation point. 2, 3. Okay. I mean, that's pretty much it. We're going for 100K. We have a mini preview, and we're live on YouTube. Thank you. I've already said thank you. Your support, be a little bit more clear now, since you've already said the thank you. Your support of this project makes all the difference. Make sure you share with your friends and gaming groups. We can't do this without you. Now, does this hyperlink in? Let's preview it and make sure that like actually links. Save draft. Preview. Make sure this hyperlinks. It doesn't hyperlink. Glad I checked. How's it going to work for the NPC or item? We will get with our special counsel. A lot. I mean, the special counsel gets more than just the NPC and the item. I think people are sleeping on that special access. Like, you're going to get everything first. Like, you will see. I don't know if any of our TipTap subscribers are in here from Homebrew, but we take really good care of our top tier of subscribers. So you're going to see everything first. You're going to get some like say in some stuff, which is really cool. But as far as the NPC or item, what we'll do is we'll get with you and say, would you rather do an NPC or an item? And then like, what ideas do you have? Because we wanted to be careful not to say create an NPC. Like we commit to letting you name the NPC, but I'd like to go further than that. I'd like to say, okay, what's their lineage? What's their class? You know, tell me a little bit about them. For the item, I'd love to say, okay, what does it do? What does it look like? You know, get some art done. And then when that appears in the adventure or in the book, you'll be credited right there. Like there'll be a literal like thanks to whatever name you give us to credit to you for backing us on Kickstarter, or thanks to X from Kickstarter, something to that effect. So I mean, you won't just be in some back page, you know what I mean? Where people can go find it. It'll be right. You will literally be right there, which I think is really cool. Okay, so I need to edit this, and we need to make this link actually link. I'm assuming that is with the link button. Hello? Come in? What's it? Oh, it's giving me an error. Unexpected error occurred. Well, I'm with you on that. Let's do... Click here to join to watch on YouTube. If I had an NPC, an item or an NPC, it would have to be named Mango. I like that. Is that a pet? Is the T in YouTube capitalized, or am I old? It is capitalized. Okay. It's not working. Let's refresh here. Yeah, that's kind of why we didn't want to fully commit to, because I'm sure you wouldn't do this, Pierre, but we didn't want someone to come in and be like, my NPC is fucktart McGillicuddy, and he's a whatever, blah, blah, blah. So that's why we didn't want to say create an NPC, because while we will let you be involved in the creation of the NPC, we don't want to do meme characters or joke characters or, you know what I'm talking about. We just don't want to do like dumb shit. But you are old. That's fair. That's a fair assessment of me. So now let's try this linking again. That's not gonna work. Well. Okay, so let's get creative, gang. Okay, we're gonna go to Canva, we're gonna create a design, we're gonna do a custom size. We're gonna do 1920 by I don't know, like 200 to 300. Actually, I'm gonna do a tricksy here. I'm gonna teach you all some stuff about UI UX, since that's the quality content that you're here for, right? We're gonna do 1080 by 400 and resize that, and then what we're gonna do is let's make a shape. We're gonna make it a rounded shape, and then oop, and then I'm gonna teach you guys some stuff, because that's why you're here, right? So right now this might not look like anything, so we'll put a little MythCraft button on here. Oop. And then we'll put some text in here. Click here to watch live. And then we'll put that in our full font, which we can then increase in size a little bit. Okay, so right now it's starting to look more like a button, but because I increased the size of this more, I'm gonna underline this too, just to give it even more of that like link feel. So let's pull in our little logo here just to grab some colors. So boop, and we'll leave that there. And then maybe grab like a little YouTube button. Wow, good spelling. The Ubes. And then I think I can change the color on this to be even cooler. Actually, I want that to be not fully black. I'd like that to be the color of this, so it looks like it's like a little negative space. And then drag this over here. And then we'll center this up. And then I just want to make sure this is the same size as this. And I'm not doing math this early in the morning, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this whole button here. This is where it becomes a button, and you're gonna be like blown away by this. I'm gonna download this with transparency. Looks like Canva. It's because it fucking is Canva. And then once that's downloaded, I'm gonna upload it as an image. That way it's flat, as they say. And then we're gonna make it a button. Oh yeah, Canva is lazy. I just woke up dream. So then we're gonna turn it into a button now. As soon as I can. Why don't I have my drop shadows on here? You're using the new photo editor for the old experience. Click here. Revert to the old editor. What's going on? Edit image. There we go. That was weird. Okay, so now we're going to give this button a little bit of lift. because now it looks like something that you click down on, because this is exactly what people are used to using with buttons. So give it a little bit more offset. Let's give it a little bit less transparency. Forgot the shadows behind to add that pop. What I'm fucking doing, Johnny? Now it looks like a button because it's lifted, right? We got the shadow behind there. Now it's very obviously a button. Transparent background, download. And I'm gonna put the link in as well, just in case, just to double up. Click through URL. Let's see if this works. Oop. Ah. Got a little bit more space than I want it to. But that's because I didn't cut it out really closely. But that's fine. Let's do one of these. And it's finicky. Okay. Now let's save the draft. There's a 30-second delay. Oh. Yeah, people keep telling me there's a delay. This sucks. Okay, so creator not published. There's a stretch goal. There's the mini preview. And then I click the button. And that's me. Hi, me. There we go. Publishing. I'm going to publish it, and then I'm going to proofread it. I hope Andy's not watching. Okay. 2 stretch goals unlocked, 100K in reach. Thank you everyone for all of your support thus far. We are smashing expectations in every way and are well on the path to unlocking hardcovers for everyone. Miniature preview at the 250K level. All sorts of good stuff unlocked, including 2 sets of 5 miniatures. Here's a sneak peek at our Cleric mini. We would be so honored to unlock the Get Physical tier, and cool. Already fucked it up. And put these and put the dice, put the spin down dice, AP tracker, and minis into production. There we go. Save changes. Changes you. Let's see if that works. All right. Join us right now, live on YouTube. Grant is hosting a Q&A, review, and all things MythCraft on YouTube. Hop on if you want to hang out or have any questions. Your support of this project makes all the difference. Make sure you share with your friends and gaming groups, because we can't do this without you. It's just so true. Ugh. Fuck. More coffee? All right. So let's take a look at how we're doing. Kick track. I love this little website. This is such a cool little website. Kick track, made you look, advertising pilot. They got ads. What type of ads are you interested in? General rotation, homepage sponsor, both. Is your project currently active? What type of project is it? Well, they don't really give you any stats, so I don't know if that's worth it. guess we could look up how many viewers does Kick Track get. How to leverage 100 to 150 page loads a day. Stoked that MythCraft is taking. We're stoked. You think you're stoked? You don't even know stoked. I want to know why this has 0 shares. I'm gonna be the first share. I'm gonna tweet it. Just because I want that number to be up there. Check us out on Kicktrack. Yay. Did you guys see my TikTok I made? I was really proud of this.
Yeah, this dude's gonna back into me. This dude just backed into me.
Can you see that?
I did not think, oh my god, this dude's gonna back into me. This dude just backed into me.
Some quality content. Okay. So how are we doing? Daily wise, we're doing about 5K a day, so I don't think we're actually trending towards 338. I think we're trending towards, so if we have 22 days left, we'll get another 110 plus what we have now, which is 87. So right now we're going to come in just short, bless my soul, of the I've been to MythCraft, stoked and refresh it far too often. Yeah, me too. I got to be careful with my refreshing. So we're currently trending to come in just under the post-apocalyptic campaign setting. Just under. So right now I would say if everything goes the way it's been going and we don't we don't take off in any big way, then we'll unlock the 150, which is the Psion and Magus, which I am super excited about. I am actually personally writing the arcane and the psionic magic sources. So, of course, I'll be involved with the Magus. However, I think Nate is going to be writing the Magus. I will be writing the Psion and the psionic magic spell list and source. So, pretty excited about that. I got to work on the divine magic source yesterday. Nate got a draft of that done. So, all super exciting. So, as of right now, we'll unlock this stuff. We'll unlock the Magus and the Psion, which is lineages, occupations, and will come in just short, just like $3,000 short of the post-apocalyptic campaign. That's if everything holds steady. If we have a drop, then we probably won't be able to get it. I have this weird feeling that if we're $3,000 away from a whole campaign setting, that everyone will come through. You know what I mean? Question: if we don't unlock all the settings in the Kickstarter, will you guys work on them and release them later? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Sideblade character is going to be thing. So the first question that I got is, will you work on them and release them later? Yes. Post-apocalyptic campaign is happening and the sci-fi campaign is happening, both, at least. And by at least, I mean like to start. So you can kind of get an idea of what our roadmap's going to be for Quasi-Real Publishing just by looking at this after the main game releases. So after we have the core rulebooks out, so on and so forth, then you can see what we're going to be working on after that. So the sci-fi campaign setting is going to happen, even if it's later or perhaps the next Kickstarter. The post-apocalyptic campaign setting is going to happen. The Marcus Lexer's Manual of Grand Strategy will happen. So that's going to be the macro war game type stuff. Yes, it will happen, and more. I think we'd like to do a Kickstarter, once a year, twice a year. So I probably shouldn't say that because then I'm reducing the FOMO with the 200K level. Kind of shooting myself in the foot, aren't I? Bang bang. But that's just the truth. We'll still do it. It's just going to be a lot later, so there should still be some FOMO. Don't lose all of your FOMO. Because what? Maybe I don't know. Maybe something terrible happens. Is there a small demo PDF available? Yes, there is a demo available. Let me hop down here. Click here to access the free demo to try at your table. Um, I can make a button for this actually. But anyways, demo is here. Oh, just copied the link text. Could actually click the demo. So let's go through the demo. Oh, everyone, I'm coughing. Just by the way, I hope you have a warm drink or cold drink. I hope you have some caffeine if that's what you want. Some someone was slamming some hot chocolate, which I think is incredible for the morning. Living your best life. I'm having my coffee black because I love myself, and everyone needs a good mug of black coffee to start the day. Very proud of this thing. Um, let's go through the demo here. Uh, there is a free demo. This is accessible to. Well, no, I had another question first. So demo is. Boop. Well, you guys working with some? I want the post-apocalyptic. Guess I got to find more friends to fund. You do. You are personally Jack Adrian Lope. You are personally responsible for getting the post-apocalyptic funded. I am going to let everyone know when they don't get it that it is your fault, Jack. It is 100% your fault, and they can thank you for not having more friends. I think we'll get it. I really, I have this weird like thing in the back of my head. I'm a very defeatist type of person. So I hate to like not defeatist, realistic, right? So I know what I'm good at and I know how to like get stuff done and I know how to make money, but like I tend to not be like overly optimistic. But I have this weird thing in the back of my head that like right around the 15-day mark, it's gonna just it's just gonna take off. Like I think when that Shadow Dark campaign ends, I think that we'll be able to get some attention from because right now all the influencers and all the review people and all the playtesters and all the news sites, it's Shadow Dark, Shadow Dark, Shadow Dark, or Shadowrun, 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 and that's a very different game from ours. It's like night and day, right? Like it's opposite of our game in every way. Um it's a rules light, simple game that's more focused on like the art, and like ours is a less niche what do you call it? It's like a less it's more of a complete system. I don't want to say there's incomplete though. I don't know how to say it. It's chunkier. There's more mechanics. There's more stuff, and it's more fantasy, and it's got more like genre busting, era spanning. It's got more mechanics, more options. It's just very polar opposite, and I'm hoping that it will get you know get some love. Um, Cyblade. So here's the thing. I'm gonna need you to fight with me on Cyblade characters, Sean, because yes, I think there will be Cyblades. When I think of Psionic, I think of psychometabolics to start. So the first thing that I want my Psionic class to have, which I'm writing it, so this is the first thing it's going to have. I think of psychometabolics, which is pushing your body past its limits, um, its perceived limits, right? So running faster, jumping higher, holding your breath longer, lifting, you know what I mean? Like tapping into your adrenaline to like lift a car or something to that effect. So like for me, it's the modification of one's own body from their inherent mental power, like overcoming those limits. Then I think of telekinesis and like psychoempathy. So both projecting and absorbing emotions and thoughts from around you. So this is still psionic to me, right? Like this is still from within your heads. So I want there to be like body modification. I want there to be brain modification. The third thing that I think I'm looking at with the psionic class is right now is psycho manifestation. So that would be literally manifesting, you know what I mean? Like firing a bow and then manifesting an arrow as it flies, right? Like that's the mental image that I have. Or literally bringing a spirit of like a wolf. You know what I mean? Like you're manifesting it with the power of your mind. You're bringing like a wolf companion to your side who's then going to fight for you, and you're manifesting that. Um so for me, yes, it's more psionic is more the force in Star Wars, and like the Matrix, like dodging bullets and, bending the spoon with their mind. And but I do think, based on what I assume is popular demand, there will also be what I'm going to call psycho manifestation. But I want to RP it really carefully, that it's it's the power of your mind. It's the inherent power of your mind, that is manifesting those things. And I'd love to see that in different eras too. Like I'd love to see manifesting bullets. I'd love to see manifesting shields. I'd love to see manifesting like companions, arrows, blades. Yes, for sure. So the psionic tree, if I had to say, if I had to compare it to the other sources of magic, the psionic tree will be the most selfish. So like primal will affect the environment the most. Arcane is going to be like traditional magic, casting of spells, weaving of spells. Divine is going to be more deific. Occult is going to be what's on the tin. It's going to be what it sounds like. Psionic is going to be much more selfish. So, um, psycho manifestation could be like this, similar to choosing a weapon. Exactly. Right. I think everyone will have like, I think that's going to be a key part of the Scion class, is that you'll have like a totem. You'll have a, maybe that's the wrong word. I don't know if that word is in right now, but like you'll have a totem. You'll have a specific focus, we'll call it. But I don't want to use focus because of D&D, but you'll have a focus that's your like, that's how you center your energy, whether that's a sword or whether that's a, I don't know. But yes. I'm very excited about the psionic class. I think that it was done dirty in the world's most popular role-playing game very recently. So demo. Someone asked about the demo. Keep the questions coming, guys. Give me stuff to talk about. That's why I'm here. That's the whole stream. The stream is here for a Q&A. And also, let's take a break here. No, I would say there's some overlap in occult and divine with the light warlocking. So we don't use the word warlock proper, and we also want to avoid. I have a problem with warlocks being shoehorned into like this very specific patron storyline. So ours is going to have some options where the vessel may be divine or occult. Occult is going to be more gaining power from other people who have opened themselves up to this source of magic. Or there is going to be, yes, there's going to be other classes that can do that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying with totem being in primal. That's why I'm saying I'm not like in love with the word, but I think you know what I mean. Like there'll be like a mental focus, like the top in Inception, or yeah, that's all I mean by totem, like a mental focus. Man, I'm all over the place. So the witch can choose between primal and occult, because you can either be like a druid, or you can be, in the occult. The occult is specifically like opening yourself up to magic from other people who've also opened themselves up to that, and then also like fiends, fae, things of that nature. So you're not necessarily uh, a patron of them. You might be siphoning magic out from them. You might have bound them. You might have like, you know what I mean? They might be in a deal with you in the occult, which I think is really, I think we're opening up the role play from there, where you might be siphoning just a tiny little crumb of power from this terrible, Asmodeus or some shit, right? And that's how you have your power as a vessel, is what we're calling it. It's not that that thing has like spared your life and given you power, but you have to do what he says. That storyline's still there, but you can also be at risk of being found out. You know what I mean? Or him swatting away the fly that you are. And then there's also the idea that you could summon a demon and like bind it, and that demon is constantly going to be trying to escape or going to be trying to trick you. Um, the warlocking will be a lot different. I think most classes will be able to pick their source of magic. So the sources are very important. There's only 5 sources, only. Those are going to be the spell lists, and those are going. They all have a different origin. They all have different like role play associated with them. So a cleric, I think, can choose. I hope I'm not saying this wrong. Don't hold me to this. I think the cleric can choose between occult or divine. I think that the witch. Well, I know the witch can choose between primal and occult. Um, the oracle, for example, could choose between psionic, which would be like a Jedi, or primal, which would be like a druid. So it is very common for you to choose. So there's a couple things we lose by doing it more modularly like that. Like there's not like a druid class because you can be a primal witch or you can be a primal oracle and you can still get that without calling it a druid. So we're trying not to like push people into specific types of RP. Um, the monk's the other one. So you could do a zealot pugilist or you could do a oracle pugilist. You know what I mean? You could still get the monk, but we can't just say here's a druid because that kind of conflicts with what we're trying to do with the sources of magic and stuff. To the demo. Uh um so the demo has 4 pre-built characters. And these are full character sheets now. Nathan went through and added these. So you can go print these off if you want and play at a table, or you can play online. That's fine too. But we've got Avery Gray. There are Rogue character, and you can get them at level 2. And there's Celeste Stormblood, which is our witch who is invested in Primal? I can't remember. I can't remember if Celeste is primal or a cult. I think she's a cult. Guys, there's a lot of information flying around. Please don't judge me too harshly. Area is our berserker, and Marcus Lexer is our cleric. And yeah, 4 characters, and we've got tokens and art for each of them. This is all free. You can pull this right into a VTT, or you can print these puppies out, pop them on the table. We've got several monsters that you can use. And then we've got a demo. We've got a full 30-page demo with everything you need to play the game. Play a combat encounter of the game. And I think we popped some extra enemies in here. We did indeed. We've got the Wilting Warden. We've got the Forest Witch with spells. We've added to the demo, y'all, which is crazy. So when we first dropped the demo, it had 2 monsters, and we've simultaneously improved the demo to now have 6 monsters, which I just think is crazy. We're giving away so much free stuff. Can you improve your spell point cost with leveling? Yes. There will be talents that reduce the spell point cost for specific types of spells. Um, and you'll have ways to improve the spell point cost as well as the number of spell points that you have. So taking a level in a full caster class will give you more spell points. There will be talents that improve your spell point cost, improve the AP point cost, so on and so forth. How easy would you say MythCraft would be for a beginner DM to run? See, I feel like 5e, 5th edition, is the most popular role playing game. So it's hard not to compare things to the most popular role playing game. So here I am comparing things to the world's most popular role playing game. Um, I think our game has more mechanics and has more things in it, but ours feels so much more intuitive. Uh, and I almost feel at this juncture, after having played it and after having DM'd it, I think it will be easier for a new DM to DM once we have the tools. So, like right now, the easiest thing to DM is Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition because you've got the game itself is pretty simple, and you've got all the tools. You've got all the calculators. You've got the character sheets do everything for you, right? Like you hit a button, you go through the character mancer, and then everything just works. So on, so forth. So like, um, but the actual game mechanics, I feel like if you're a brand new DM, you've never DM'd before, and you've never played the game before, like, what the fuck is challenge rating? How does challenge rating work? Uh, there's like all sorts of things that aren't intuitive, really. Like with monsters, uh, there is. I really feel like their magic system is not really intuitive. Like you, once you learn it, it's not that complicated. But what spell slots and creating spell slots and spell levels and spell slots. I mean, if you I don't know if you can rewind to back when you first learned Dungeons and Dragons. I'm sure you had a moment where you're like, what the fuck's what's the difference between spells known and spells prepared and spell slots and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Spells known. I don't feel like it's very intuitive. I don't feel like it's written in a way that is intuitive. So I think our game is easier to learn because, like, if you look at the monsters, it tells you exactly what they can do. And then we're going to have a chart, the MCMM chart, the MythCraft Monster Math chart. And the chart is going to very easily, you'll just be able to point to it and you'll be able to say, okay, this is the CR equivalent in Pathfinder or D&D. And the CR equivalent will let you know how to convert that into a Mythcraft monster. You'll say, this is the amount of AP my monster has. I'd like to simulate this into a monster. So instead of tracking your monster's AP, you'll just run your finger down to how much AP it would have. So say you made a monster, you gave it 12 coordination, you'd be able to say, okay, this has, this has 9 AP. You'll be able to follow the chart and then get an action list that's laid out like this. The wilting warden can take 2 of the following actions or take the same action twice. And it's that simple. So you'll have the CR chart, and then we're going to use monster level, not challenge rating, not any. It's just going to be monster level, and it will be very clear. Uh, Monster level is there's no half monster level, blah blah blah, all this stuff. It's just monster level. You go on the MCMM chart once you determine the level, and you'll know what its actions that it can take in combat is. So yeah, I like how you guys cut out the stat score and jump straight to the modifier that people use anyways. I'm glad you like it. I believe in it. Um, put random stuff and hope my players don't die. Exactly. So is it easier for a new DM? No, it's not. I want to be completely honest with you. We're at this juncture, it's not. Once it's more developed and we have tools and character sheets and VTT stuff, it will be because it's more intuitive. I think our game makes more sense. Our game works better. Conversion tables. Yeah, I think there's no reason why not to at this point. There's so much stuff in all these other games. It's just real simple. This is the CR you're trying to simulate. This is what your monster can do. It can take, it can move, it can do these things 3 times and these things 2 times. You have AP, then it can, you know what I mean? So then, if it's casting a spell, it will be simulated on this MCMM chart, Mythcraft Monster Math. Very proud of the chart. Everything I do is going to make sense. That's my goal here. Um yeah, CR just doesn't make sense. I really don't think it does. I think monster level will make sense. And I think you'll see, like, with our character sheets, this is just how we make games, right? So you might look at this and be like, oh my god, the stats are listed twice. And you would be right. But you now have one sheet when you're not in combat, and this is the sheet you use when you're not in combat. And it's very upfront about the things that you can do when you're exploring, when you're role playing. Everything is just right here. Oh, you're in combat? This is the only sheets you need while you're in combat, unless you're doing something fucking weird. Oh, you want to cast magic? Here's all your magic. So, like, I think there's little things like that where, like, oh man, why are the stats in there twice? And, like, it's because I am bringing modern user experience principles to the fucking game, and then we're making this stuff make sense and be usable and be grouped in a way that's logical. And that's going to be the same thing with all of our mechanics. They're going to be intuitive. And if there's not intuitive, and that's the other, that's like, there's all sorts of stuff like that, like conditions. You guys are going to get me off on a tangent. We're looking at the demo, and we've reviewed the demo. How have you guys balanced the caster versus martial higher level characters? Not that it needs to be done, because it's very difficult to do effectively. Yes, we are very two things here. Well, wait, but going back. Stats. I want you to Spectilia. I want you to remember that you said that, because yes, we took out the big numbers, and yes, we just have the modifiers, so to speak. But I'd like to point out that it's we also took out rolling for stats. That's the number one. Again, it's logical. I'm right. You know I'm right. But everyone hates that we took out rolling for stats. So we are going to be putting rolling for stats in, but it's going to be an optional rule. And that still makes everyone vomit in their mouth. But I'd like to point out D&D doesn't technically have rolling for stat rules either. That's also an optional rule in Dungeons and Dragons. You're supposed to use standard array or point live. So what we'll do is we'll roll 2d4. If you're taking the optional rule, and again, same with D&D, when you roll for stats, you have someone roll 2 18s, the game's broken. The game's just broken. That's just it, right? But what we can do is we can have to roll 2d4s. You roll a d4, get a number, say it's 4. You roll a second d4, you get a 2. You subtract the second number from the first one, you get a 2 in that stat. Then you do it again. You roll for the next step, you roll a d4, you roll a 1. Roll for the next one, you roll a 3, you're going to get a -2 in that stat. So that's going to be, I know it loves rolling for stats, but it is illogical and it's wrong, and it's not optimized. So that's how, if people want to roll for stats, they can do that. We'll have the rules for the d4 minus d4 is how rolling for stats will occur. There's not going to be any like 3d6 or whatever. I personally think that I like rolling for stats too. Like if you gave me a 5e game, I'd roll for stats. I'd roll for HP. I'm always going to roll the dice in the dice game. But I think something as important as the players at the table all having fun, I think it's not fun if you have one person who gets really high stats and everyone else has normal stats. That's like not as fun. Then you just have like main character bullshit going on. Or conversely, I don't like when everyone rolls good stats and one person rolls really bad stats. That's also not necessarily as fun. So like what I do for my podcast for World Weavers and for Homebrew is we have a shared pool. So we roll for stats, but everyone gets the stats that they rolled for together. Does that make sense? Then everyone's still equal at least. And you still get to roll the dice in the dice game. How's everyone doing? Got some new people hopping in. Hi, I'm Grant Milkey. I am one of the creators of MythCraft. I got a nice cup of coffee and hanging out with our viewers, with our chatters. I would love for you to jump in chat and say hello, especially if you're new here. I try to remember everyone's names and I try to talk to everybody. And yeah, we're doing some Q&A stuff. So if you have any questions about MythCraft, please let me know. Everyone, let's take a moment and copy this stream into our friend groups, copy it into our Discords, post it on your tweeters. Let's get the word out. Bless my soul. Let's get some more viewers in here, because then maybe we can convert that into some backings. How will the setting books be written? What do you mean how? Yeah, I don't know what you mean by how will the setting books be written. So free demo, by the way, everyone. Just to close this out, all the art, all the bandits, or the monsters. This token is like real wrong. I have a feeling Nathan did this because it's super fucking blurry and pixely. So I'm actually gonna go into my Discord. I'm gonna yell at people. At the wilting dude you stole from World Weavers is blurry in the demo and has a different frame. Can we fix this, please? Yeah, they stole my boy. How long are you streaming? I don't know, until I get too anxious about my day job. Or until journalist request. I got a new PR request. Until I get anxious about work and until I don't know, for a bit. I have read setting books where everything is written from the point of view of someone who's experienced in the world, like a rugged traveler or a merchant. That's really interesting. I hadn't considered doing it in more of a narrative fashion. Um, I like the concept though. Maybe yeah, no, I love that idea. I'll definitely pitch that to. So Nathan will be in charge of the Cloven Lands. Um, and then depending on how many campaign settings we unlock, that will determine whether we're doing the prehistory or the post-apocalyptic. Um, so yeah, I'm totally open to it. Maybe I can consider that for Heart of Vedrithis. That might work better for my writing style to be able to um have it be a little bit more narrative. Do you know about the one more multiverse site? Plan to have any partnerships there? I have never fucking heard of it. One more multiverse. Oh man, I feel like I have to blow my nose. There you go. Some sound effects for everyone. Make, play, share, and stream your next tabletop adventure. Uh, what is this website? Huh. This is like old school. Um, so I'm assuming I'm supposed to look at this like it's mobile or something, and that's why it's a little bit missized. So I apologize. I can't really see all the things. I'm gonna scooch in here while I look at this website, and it's tiny, tiny buttons. Prettier Roll20. Yeah, I mean I like gradients. I will tell you that. I will say I'm immediately worried about the website. It seems like it was built in like Dreamweaver, like HTML, and that's very, very hard to do without a full team of developers. And the website itself already has some problems UX wise. It is very, very pretty though. I will give you that. Um, View campaign settings and rule books. So is it a VTT? Is that what it is? Oh, they got Humblewood. That's cool. I love Humblewood. That's the bird Kickstarter. The bird Kickstarter. I sound so condescending. I'm not. I literally love Humblewood. But Humblewood is the bird the bird folk Kickstarter. Yeah, I guess I'm not following what it is exactly. Is it a VTT? Blades in the Dark community help. Play OMM for free. Uh, it's fucking beautiful. I will tell you that. That is insanely. I love this art. This is great art. Gotcha. Um, okay. All right, we're logged in. Here we go. Do crime with 120 plus custom levels. I love that. I don't know. Let's do. I don't know. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, ready to play one shot. No, explore. Create game. Name game. Okay, I see. Name game. Where's my music? What happened? Oh, I turned it off when I showed you my TikTok. Definitely had a learning curve. Play. This is where players will spawn. You can move it around. This specifically or this? Can I move this around? Okay, so I think they mean this. Still need characters. Well, I don't know if we'll do anything with this. It seems like they would have to be the ones to answer that question because man, it's going to be a grind getting the art that we have done. Also getting it done with like pixel stuff is going to be fucking crazy. It looks cool though. It's beautiful. I'm a little bit nervous. They've got a big team, which is helpful. I was a little bit nervous about the immediate issues with the website. Like, I don't know. That's why I stick with Roll20 because Roll20 like works 85% of the time, and I don't like my games getting interrupted, and especially with how hard it is to schedule. You know how many shows we're doing. I really don't want to mess around with that kind of shit. So let's see where we're at. Backer level 87, 441. That's super cool. I think we could hit 90 today, and I'd really like to see us hit Absolute Tangent from MythCraft. No, it was MythCraft adjacent. It was MythCraft themed. And then let's do some looking at the, yeah, it's super interesting. So let's look at our Kickstarter here. Let me see where we're at. Let me see if anyone's bugging me here. Doot. Any more questions, y'all? I didn't consider how this would look live when I was doing this really quickly. So I will say that button, I should have cut off the sides so that it filled instead of right now it has like white transparent space on the edges here. So it didn't fill up all the way. But that's what happens when you make buttons in 30 seconds when you're trying to post an update because you slept in and you're literally live and everyone's watching you work. So we have unlocked our second stretch goal. As I said, I think we'll get 90 today. I'm hoping we get 100K by the weekend and unlock those hardcovers. We are currently trending to come in just shy of the post-apocalyptic setting. Post-apocalyptic setting will probably be written by me. So as far as the actual adventures that you get, you'll be getting the Heartstone of Bedrithis from me, the Cloven Lands from Nate, and the Prehistory from Nate. And then if all goes well, I'll be doing the post-apocalyptic as well. I'd really like to think we can make that. I don't know how you doing, Grant. I'm doing pretty good. I rolled out of bed and started streaming right away, and I'm not like an experienced streamer, so I'm still learning about all of this. I'd love to stream. Like if I could get like a some sort of schedule or something and like hop on here and hang out with everyone and get like, you know what I mean? I can't break that 20, 30, 40 viewer thing. So, you know, I'd need to figure out how to get more viewers because I've got my friends. If you could pick what the 1 million Kickstarter reward would be, what would you choose? Well, I can tell you what the 1 million, we already talked about this, and we're not expecting to hit 1 million, right? We wanted to give you guys a peek of what the roadmap was going to be. So this is what we'll do, right? Like eventually we're going to want to do narrative universe of MythCraft, which is going to be books. We'd like to expand the hi, you're doing great. You're breathtaking. The creature compendium, we want to expand on that. We want to expand on the item magic compendium, which is going to be a feature of like the website when all the rules are online and when those are available to everyone. What's this music? It's jamming. The $1 million is going to be a gift to everyone who backed the Kickstarter. Again, we're not going to get to 1 million, but if we did, what we'd do is we would make an entire VTT bundle for everybody who backed the Kickstarter, and we would give it to you for free. Like that would be the holy shit. We're starting this out and we're going to show you exactly. I don't know how I would know who Mango is. I don't even know what I missed. And I'm also terrible with names. So if that's a name, I'm assuming it's a pet name. Okay, contextually, I know Chris shares pictures of his dog, and he has a beautiful, amazing little puppy. And Mango sounds like a dog fucking name. So I'm going to extrapolate from the information I have that Mango is Chris's dog. Sherlock. Man, I got completely lost. You guys fucking... We get 1 million. I'm going to organize an official Homebrew Network con. 1 million is the VTT set. Again, million's not actually a like stretch goal where like we're trying to produce more. 1 million is a stretch goal where like we're just going to give back as much as possible. So the 1.25 million and beyond, that's where stuff gets crazy. That's where we're talking, you know, online character creator calculators. That's where we're talking things like conventions, things like physical locations, partnerships with game stores. That's where we're talking like beyond an actual play podcast. That's where we're talking like a fully produced video, like a more of a Critical Role style show with actual, you know, cameras and lights and studio and staff and things of that nature. So on and so forth. The beyond that is where quasi-real launches more into the gaming, you know, company, and it becomes not so much about this specific release, and it becomes about giving you guys as much possible as you can with MythCraft. We'll talk about it if we get close. Again, you never know what happens. Maybe we get, you know, maybe something takes off, but right now I would say we are trending towards, if everything holds, trending towards just missing 200K. And I think once we get really close to 200K, that will help inspire that like bump at the end where we go above what we're getting a day right now, launch into beyond. Let's see, got more questions here. Someone asked me something, now I can't find it. Combat, how fast do you think it will be? I don't think it's going to be too much slower than like, I would say it's going to be slower than 5th edition, faster than like Pathfinder is how I would say it. It's pretty intuitive and pretty quick, low level. But then once you get into the point where everyone has like, you know, 8, 10 AP, it's kind of the same as any tabletop RPG. Like the more you can do, the slower people are going to be taking their turns. So, I don't think it's going to be faster than 5e though. That's not a thing. I don't want it to be faster than 5e. I personally don't think 5e's combat is quite like as, you know, as customizable, as robust as I would want it to be. How unique will they be in comparison to other races' ancestry in other RPGs? Without spoiling, of course. I appreciate you saying not spoiling. I just got in a brawl with Nathan and Andy yesterday about how much we should share about the lineages. So, they will be pretty unique. I think our philosophy is that every choice you make should have something only it can do. But not everything is going to be totally unique. So we don't want to get into a situation where it doesn't matter what you choose. We want that to matter. So there's going to be stuff that only a certain lineage can do, only a certain class can do, only a certain source of magic can do. But at the same time, not everything is going to be totally unique. There might be multiple ways to get, for example, if you wanted to fly, there is, sorry, impromptu dance party. Thanks, Chris. There might be multiple ways for you to learn how to fly. So there might be a lineage option where if you're a dragon folk and as you get more levels and you age, essentially, you get more experienced, you might be able to fly through your lineage. The divine source has like angel wing spell. The arcane might have, there's different ways to be able to fly. It's not like you have to be a dwarven mage at level 15 to fly, otherwise fuck you. But we want every lineage to have something only they can do. Like the only way that you can do that is by being a Kleppen, and there's not other ways to get that. Player fly speed. Speak for yourself. I think that you knock a player out of the sky and they fail 2 death saving throws from hitting the ground. I guess we don't have death saving throws in our game. That is something interesting, though, when we talk about the massive damage rules. Because of death points, we're going to have to calculate how many death points you take from extreme falls. Because otherwise, everyone could just jump off of a mountain and get 1 death point and be fine. Not fine, obviously. How heavily will the race affect the class you select? I don't know. You're always going to have min-maxers. You're always going to have people who like that part of the game. They like making a very optimized character. I wouldn't say it's going to be extreme. You don't get stats from your lineage selection. So it's going to be more about the role play of the character you're trying to create as far as the lineage goes. So you will have people who are like, oh, I can do exactly this. If I take this lineage, then I'll be immune to necrotic damage, and I'll have this spell from this class, and so on and so forth. So you don't, we don't want it to be punishing to not take a certain lineage, but you also want it to matter. So how heavily? Medium heavily? Not too heavily, not too not heavily. We want to avoid anything where it's like, oh, my mage has to be undead, or fuck you. So yeah, we talked about stretch goals a little bit. What we've unlocked so far is interesting. So we've got 2 new class stacks. Stacks are groupings of talent points, and that's going to be the Vessel and the Pugilist. The Vessel is a really cool class concept, closest to Warlock, but we want to, it's not, you don't have a patron who is giving you powers necessarily. There are other RPs for the Vessel. So you might be siphoning power from a very powerful entity and trying to like fly under the radar. You might have actually like summoned and bound some sort of fiend or something that's like working against you and trying to escape. You might be taking power from other people who have opened themselves up to like the occult. There are going to be other storylines for warlocking. That's not just patron. So very excited about the Vessel. And then we've got the Pugilist, which is going to be either strength or dexterity. It's going to be anything from like a wrestler to like a fighter, a fist fighter. And if you were going to play like a monk, then you would do like a pugilist, not psionic. I start talking and then I start talking too fast. A pugilist zealot would be a good monk, or a pugilist oracle would be a good monk. Oracle being, a pugilist oracle would be someone who did more like psychometabolics and, ran faster, punched harder, jumped higher. And a pugilist zealot would be more of like a monk. So it's really fun that we unlocked those, and I'm hoping we get to the Magus and Scion as well, because those will have some interesting interplay. For example, if you played like a Vessel Magus, then I think you could get into having like cursed sentient item, which I think is really cool. We want players to build the character they want to play, not what the rulebook says you should play to maximize your class choice. Right. We want to support exactly what Max said. We want to support all play styles. If you want to min-max your character and if you have fun doing that type of thing, this game has the options that you crave. You have a pug list. That is 10 out of 10 pun for the Hondu pugilist can be a pug pugilist. Wow, I'm never gonna be able to say that. You distracted the shit out of me. Yeah, we don't want people to have to play a certain thing, but we also want to have the options there. And I think it's a very easy, simple, like as long as everything's balanced, as long as there are options everywhere, then it's a non-issue. Do you have a personal favorite class at the moment? That's really unfair. I'm writing a lot of the classes, so I feel like if I answer that, then for years people are going to be like, well, this thing is because this is Grant's favorite class. So I like all classes equally, and I would never favor one class over the other. I favor balance, and I want all the classes to be really cool and have something only they can do, and I want them to be all fun and engaging and endearing, and it's definitely the mage. I'm hilarious. The Vessel pugilist. Yeah, so if you were to mix like a Vessel and a Magus, if you unlock it, then I think you could have like Possessed Sword, which I think is really cool. And you also have like Pugilist and Scion. I mean, that writes itself, right? Like these are really cool class combinations, especially with like the seamless multi-classing. So yeah, MythCraft is 3 books. It is going to be the core rulebook, which is going to be like 350-ish pages. If I can get Nathan to cut out pages, otherwise it will be 7,000 pages. Can I tell you guys a story? I hope Nathan's not in here. You guys. Oh wait, hey, I have to go back to a question someone just asked me. Speaking of mages, somebody asked about balancing martial and caster classes. So a couple things. One, that is just having that in the forefront of our discussions is helpful because we know that they need to be balanced, and we know that we want it to. I don't like the whole concept of, whoa, the martials protect you when you're weak, and then when you're really powerful, then you protect that. I don't like that. I want them to be balanced at least. Not necessarily every level, but we want them to be balanced at all points in the game. And I think there's 2 ways to accomplish that. One, the power of magic in MythCraft is likely not going to go beyond what you would see at like the 6th or 7th level in 5th edition or Pathfinder. So we're chopping off the most powerful magic and we're stretching all of it out. So there will not be things like True Resurrection or Wish in MythCraft that a class can get and then cast. So you will not have, so like, for example, at level 20, you cannot beat Wizard. You just can't. Rules as written, you can't beat Wizard, period, because they can wish for a simulacrum, they can wish for infinite ruby powder, and then they only have to get 1 wish out without losing the ability to wish. No, they don't even have to do that. They just get 1,500 gold pieces of ruby dust, make a simulacrum, have the simulacrum cast the wish for them. The first wish the simulacrum makes is for infinite ruby powder, and then you can just spam wish forever. Now, assuming you homebrew rule away the simulacrum thing, which is, I usually just take wish out, period. I don't like wish. I think wish is a stupid spell. So you take wish out of the game, or you take the simulacrum ability out of the game, because simulacrum, again, even without wish, is excessive. There's no way. The second you cast simulacrum and in a fight, you have an entirely second character who can do everything you can do once. There's no way. Anyone who tries to argue that marshals in 5e are balanced after like level 17 is it's just ridiculous. There's literally no way that you can, like, you can, as a wizard, you can get up to like 37 AC without items. So like, I don't care if the fighter could attack 17 times. I have mirror image and blur up. I have shield as my spell mastery, and there's 2 of me, right? So there's not going to be that powerful of magic. So something like 8th level, which is simulacrum, something like 9th level, which is wish. A wizard can level a city at level 9 once a day, which completely is just insane. Like, you can meteor swarm, you can cast that once a day. So you could literally just go city to city leveling a city. So you have like these high level actual plays where the bad guy, you know what I mean, has the ability to do that. Then it doesn't matter if you get 10d6 sneak attack damage, because the wizard can do that from like a mile away. Anyways, so we're cutting off the top tier of magic. We're stretching it out a little bit. So magic is not, power word kill. The magics that are that powerful in MythCraft will be tied to items that like anyone could use. So for example, there might be an item that can do something akin to True Resurrection, but that is not going to be something that just mages get. That's going to be something that, you know, it's an item that the DM can then decide is or is not in the game. The other, so we're just actually focusing on balancing it, and we're not making any excuses for it. 2, magic is not going to quite be as powerful as it is in other games, because the magic does this, right? Like, magic gets really strong really fast, and marshals get really strong, but it's pretty much at doing like one thing. With the stretch goals, if any of them yes. Well, I'll come back to that real quick, but just as far as balancing them, and then also it's just going to, well, that's good. That's why I'm here. We're here to want to play MythCraft. Tell your friends, MythCraft is coming. The no thing like Pathfinder's dazzling display and feat granting the ability of taking 10 to auto shake any. Yeah, so it's not going to be, so I would say in order of how stupid magic is, like Pathfinder magic is insane. Like, there's no other way to say it. And I love Pathfinder. I love Pathfinder with a passion. I think that's a great game. I love Pathfinder like levels 1 to 10 though, because it gets so stupid after that. D&D does it better. Like, at least marshals, you know, in your average encounter where the DM can lay out a map and everyone is within 60 feet of each other and you run at each other and beat each other, marshals stand a chance against, you know, casters. We're going to go a step further and say that even more towards magic and marshals being mixed by giving marshals really cool shit. Marshals will get more. You also have 30 levels where you can take talents and do more things with. Marshals will have more ways to counter and interact with magic users and make them shut the fuck up. And then we'll also have the ability to attack more often, so on and so forth. And then magic will just be a little bit less powerful, is the answer. The top end of magic is not going to be world-breaking shit. It's not going to be something where, like, you can just wish, I don't know, you can just wish your reality to be different, or you can just make a copy of yourself, or you can destroy, you can level a city from a mile away, or you can look at anyone and say a word and they die if they're under 100 HP. It's a little bit too strong. Too strong. That's the answer. Want to play MythCraft more? Yes. If with the stretch goals, yeah. So I know I'm shooting myself in the foot saying that the stretch goals are what we're going to work on next, but the stretch goals are what we're going to work on next. So it's really a question of, do you get the post-apocalyptic campaign on release, or do you or is that what we work on next? Because you kind of have a general idea what we're going to be working on next, and we'd like to do a Kickstarter once a year, twice a year. You know what I mean? If we can get enough staff, and if we can get enough support, and if we can really get this going enough. But we will absolutely, with the success that we've seen so far, we'll absolutely do a second Kickstarter. It's just a matter of when. You know what I mean? So post-apocalyptic campaign is coming. Sci-fi campaign is coming. And Marcus Luxor's Manual of Grand Strategy is also coming. It's just whether or not that's going to be when we drop it all. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's go through our stuff. So MythCraft, what's inside MythCraft? MythCraft is 3 books, probably pushing 1,000 pages total, honestly. The story I was going to tell you about Nathan earlier, I gotta stop looking at chat so I can get through my story. Nathan wrote one of these sources of magic that we're using as a template. So he's working on divine magic so that I can write psionic and arcane magic. Because there's there's a balance, right? We have to write the magic talent stacks, which is the grouping of talent points. We have to write the source list of spell magic, and we have to write the actual classes that gain access to the source magic. So Nathan, in this story, was working on the divine source so that I could then work on the arcane and psionic. And he submitted to me 49 pages on the divine source of magic. And I was like, it's going to be a whole job just to cut the content down to a releasable state. That's 1 out of 5 sources of magic in a book that has way more than just magic, right? Like that's like, you know what I mean? That's a significant portion of our 350 pages we have. So we have a ton of content. Will there be any monsters, enemies with an instant kill ability? I can't answer that yet, Javanos. We've got a wide variety of people on the team. And I think we've got a nice mix of people who like the game being deadly and people who avoid death and want to do a little bit more like guardrail type adventuring. So we've got varying opinions on deadliness on the team. So I don't know if that will make it in or not. It's really just a matter of Nate and I will probably duke it out and decide as a, you know what I mean, as a design philosophy, can something kill you? I'm pretty comfortable saying I want there to be things that can instantly kill you. I don't like things that can instantly kill you with no recourse. So power word kill, you don't even get a save, I don't think. I'm 99% sure you don't get a save. Yeah, you don't get a save. So I don't like that. I think that there would probably be stuff that will kill you, but probably not stuff that kills you with no recourse. And someone else counterspelling is not recourse. That's just luck. What was that? So we talked about the game here. Let's take a little look at what we got on offer here. Can I open this image in a new tab and zoom in a little bit? A little bit. Not as much as I'd like. No save. It just happens. Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll probably... Again, I'm not committing to anything. And I'm not going to say like, oh, the game is always going to be fun no matter what. And you'll always be able to live if you do the right thing. That's definitely not the game we're making at all. There's not always going to... You're not always just going to live. And and there will be character death, and we're not, you know what I mean? There's other games that there aren't, like in 5e, it's pretty hard to die, right? So it's not going to be like that. I think my problem with Power Word Kill is that there's no save, really. I think that's really my only problem with it. And there's not really any cost to the caster. I think maybe Power Word Kill would be more fun to me if it did the thing it did, but if you made the save, it like lashed back at them in some way. Or it had some sort of material component cost or something like that. It's just a little too free and a little too powerful. Is my issue. Will individual characters be able to wield magic from 2 different sources or mix them together? Or will it be more traditional? Yeah, so I mean the multi-classing is completely seamless. You can absolutely get access to multiple sources of magic. If you are, your casting stat will be determined by what you have more. Are you making fun of me, Waco, or am I actually doing that? I hope I'm actually doing that. So Rusty asks, will individual characters be able to wield magic from 2 different sources or mix them together? Or will it be more traditional? 1 character, 1 magic source. The multi-classing in MythCraft will be seamless. So you can take magic from different sources for sure. And you can even take points in different classes, or you can just level straight into the source without taking a class. Your casting stat will be determined by what you have points, the most points in. And if you have a tie, so say you have 5 in Cleric and you're using Divine, and you have 5 in Witch and you're using Primal, you could pick then what you want your casting stat to be. I hope that answers the question correctly. I'll see a World Weavers TPK if it's the last thing I do. Like I said, there, even in instances where I was like trying to kill everyone except 1 person, and even in instances where y'all made some pretty major mistakes, I think the only time everybody died was when it was like a cut scene, right? It's pretty hard to die in 5e, and it's not, I think that's one of the game's major flaws, is I think the stakes are lowered, and I think that's why you get a lot of games that are just pure comedy. There's no stakes, there's no drama. The whole thing is just bits and one-liners, which is fine. I think you can play that game too with MythCraft by just adjusting the rules or using optional death rules. And then once death is off the table and you've got Revivify, you've got your spells, you've got your It's Hard to Die, then you can do your more fun game. That's totally fine. But the game as written is going to have higher stakes and more deadliness for sure. Definitely more than 5e. I think 5e is a little ridiculous. I think like Healing Word, Stabilizing Touch, even just, you think about the idea of rolling the dice, you have a statistical likelihood in death saves to live. So like dying in 5e is like, if you go down, there's a chance you die. In MythCraft, it will be, if you get to 0 HP, there's a chance you live, if that makes sense. Injury handling, like more serious permanent wounds. A lot of people like that. That's not weird that your players like that. It is there is talk of there being some injury type stuff, but I can't tell you which way we're leaning right now. I don't know. I don't know about injuries yet. I am about to embark in a Cyberpunk Red campaign, and I will be honest with you, I've never played in a game that had injuries that wasn't a video game. So I've played lots of games that have injuries. Obviously Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, and Kingmaker has injuries, and Wasteland 3, and 2 both have injuries, and I really love those games. I've never played it on a tabletop, so I'll probably reserve my final answer to after I've played my Cyberpunk Red game through a little bit, see how that feels. Because I know that, like Stat Drain, for example, in Pathfinder, I don't know, permanent stat drain that persists after sleeping is not my favorite thing in the game because it gets a little unfun, especially when you're like making saves against getting a permanent stat drain, and it feels a little wonky not being able to sleep it off. I think, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much until I've really worked through my thoughts on it, because I don't want to. A lot of people do like injury systems, and a lot of people do like that stuff. And I think the people that don't like that type of thing tend to share more. So I don't know. Probably need to gather some feedback on that and figure out what's like the voting minority and what's the like loud majority, blah blah blah, all that fun stuff. I'm open on it. So going through the what's in the box, we've got our 3 books, which I think are going to be hardcover. Something terrible would have to happen to not get to the hardcovers. By the way, hi, if you're new here, my name is Grant Milky. I'm working on MythCraft with an amazing team of developers at Quasi Real Publishing. I'm having some coffee, doing some work, co-working with y'all. I hope you all have a hot or a cold drink and you got good sleep, or you're having fun while you're still awake, wherever you are in the world, or whatever time you go to sleep. I don't know. And I hope that you are having a wonderful day, or are going to have a wonderful day. I am running a Kickstarter. We're running a Kickstarter called MythCraft right now. You can find it by going to mythcraftrpg.com, or you can just go to Kickstarter and search for MythCraft. We have smashed expectations, and we're already through our second stretch goal with about 22 days to go. Everything is going really well, and I am just preaching the word of MythCraft to everyone far and wide, so everyone knows that this is going to be an amazing, intuitive new game. It's not going to be a repeat of other games out there. It's not going to, you know what I mean? It's not a port of any other game with a few things changed. It's our own game with our own philosophies. It's user friendly. It makes sense. It works intuitively. And it's got the customization, the robustness that people crave. It without just making it be flowcharts and math. It's intuitively robust. There's a lot of options. How crunchy would you say MythCraft is in regards to rules? Is there a common system that's comparable in terms of crunchiness? There's not a common system because we're kind of aiming in the middle. I like to say medium crunch. So it's definitely more robust than 5e. There's more options than 5e. And there are there's more options than 5e, and there's less crunchiness than like Pathfinder. Those would be the 2 most popular games I could compare it to. It's definitely not rules light. And it's definitely not as simple as 5e. However, I think it's more intuitive than 5e. For example, our spell point system just makes more sense using spell points and tracking spell points. You have a spell point cost, you cast them, you subtract the spell point cost from your spell points, done. There's no creating slots, there's no spell slots, there's not spells known, spells prepared, and spell levels. There's not all of that bullshit that is kind of arbitrary. Ours is more intuitive. So we'll have a lot more options, but I truly believe it's a more intuitive system. Hope that answers the question. Medium crunch is the quick answer. Yeah, lightly breaded. It's like a, you know what I mean? It's not grilled chicken, and it's not like a crispy chicken. It's like a tempura. Tempura batter. Glad Jake is here. He makes me laugh. So there are the MythCraft official dice. These are available at the collector's edition and beyond. These are beautiful dice from Fanroll Dice. They're going to be sharp edge resin. They're 16 millimeters, so just the traditional dice size. They are hand polished, and they have this like kind of there's like mylar inside of them, which gives them this like effect of having like the glitter inside. So they're sharp edge too, meaning that they roll a little bit less than tumble dice, which are the ones with the rounded edge. I prefer those. So they're again, this is the MythCraft official dice. They're orange and black resin sharp edge dice. Those will retail about those retail for about $40. Anywhere you get a sharp edge set of resin dice, they're going to retail at about 40. So we're retailing them at about 40, and I think they go in the collector's edition when everything's all added up. I think they go for about $25. The collector's edition is where the magic, that's where the money's at. Collector's edition is the best value for sure. We've got our Legends of MythCraft, the 10 pre-built characters. I want to be clear with the Legends of MythCraft. This is not a pamphlet. This is not a flyer. This is not like just a quick little book. This is a fucking magazine, basically. This is going to be 20 to 30 pages, and it's going to have 10 characters that are fully built with some backstory, with some lore, with some art, with some what you need to play if you don't want to like dive into creating a full character to start. The pre-built characters will be easy to hand to your friends, and they can then pick a character and they can just jump in and start playing MythCraft. They don't have to go through the whole book, all the options, all the talent points, all the sources, all the classes, all the lineages. It's just going to be a quick way to try out the game, which I think everyone should play a pre-built character their first time. Every single person. I don't care what game you're playing. Play a pre-built character through first. Don't make your table sit there and watch you try to figure stuff out live. Just play a pre-build. Just do it. It's easy. Sorry. This is going to be this is a chunky little magazine though. The quick start guide also is chunkier. It's a $10 value, and it's going to have the rules condensed. So basically everything you need to like play the game, kind of like the demo right now, everything you need to play the game in a more condensed fashion. So you can go to a table, give out quick start guides, give out the pre-built characters, and just play. And you don't need the 1,000-page plus book and so on and so forth. Will there be a system of potion crafting that allows players to make unique potions? That sounds fucking sweet. We've talked about spell crafting and we've talked about potion crafting. You know, I think honestly on release, maybe not. I think that's a great thing to look at for development, magic item creation, potion creation, monster harvesting, gathering alchemic ingredients, so on and so forth. I think that's an excellent point of development. So I don't think we'll have potion crafting in the base game. I'm not saying we won't. Might make it into the MythCraft guide. MythCraft guide, you know, we could easily make that 3,000 pages if we put all the tables and all the rules we wanted to put into it. But I would probably expect something like potion crafting to come out more in the like first, you know, expansion, so to speak. One moment, everybody. Have a sip of coffee. Have a sip of your monster, your drink. Big bis ... On the topic of potions, are there any plans for some type of alchemist class? Well, let me tell you. We have a Dr. Andrea Kasuris is a partner at Quasi-Rail Publishing and is a huge part of what we're doing. And the little doctor in front of Andrea is from her fucking chemistry. She is we have a literal doctor of chemistry on staff. So, yes, I think that we'll have some alchemy. I would be fucking blown away if we don't have alchemy. I also don't know if we committed to this all the way, so let me double check before I run my goddamn mouth. Okay, I'm not gonna run my mouth. There will be alchemist. Alchemist will happen. I will make sure alchemist happens because one of my favorite Pathfinder class was alchemist. I fucking loved alchemy in Pathfinder. That makes me excited for you. Yeah, you should be excited for the future. We getting this fucking like kickstarted. I can assure you, everyone that is working on this is excited, and we're doing what we want to do. World of Ansera and Sarah in the Age of Awakening. Our first campaign will be in Super Eon 2. I should probably check the comments, shouldn't I? Let's do a quick break and see if anyone's... Nope. Yeah, what would Walter White be in MythCraft? They'd be... I don't know, actually. That's really interesting to think about. What even is Walter White? Like, he's just a smart dude. Alchemist Artificers are cool. I don't like Alchemist Artificers in 5e, at least. I loved That's kind of like what pissed me off is that Jake likes them too. I don't like Alchemist Artificers in 5e. I loved Alchemist in Pathfinder. I love Alchemist in just about every game except D&D Alchemist. The Artificer class was just kind of my break away from my excitement about 5e. It's like the first thing I was like, what is this shit? But hey, Jake and Maxon like it, so to each their own. The Gear likes them too. I stand alone in my dislike of Artificers in 5e. So class, well, okay, let's talk more about the release setting. Is going to be the Super Eon 2, which is the high fantasy era of Ansera. So that's going from the 4 Super Eons that we've kind of talked about, and these are big marks in time. These aren't this isn't everything, so to speak. Like, we're talking about like different eras, different eons. So there's prehistory, which is going to be low to no magic. There's the high fantasy, which is going to be, let me rephrase, love the flavor. Oh, I love the flavor, 100%. Alchemist is, I love the idea of playing an alchemist. It's just in 5th edition, the way that they did the rules is not great. There's no, I don't know, there's no like throwing mechanics. There's not any really like potion mechanics. There's not, just, I don't know. I just don't you just like get a random effect too? I don't even think you get control over what you do. Also, let's remember, artificers are just half casters, which is another thing that pissed me off. Is like, they're just like, oh, the players can role play it. They can make it a device instead of a spell. They'll be fine. They couldn't just like give you actual artificer effects. Yeah, you don't even get to pick what you do. You have to roll for it. Not a very good alchemist. Just, I guess it's more of like a mad alchemist. Like, you're just mixing shit together and see what happens. So in Super Eon 2 is the high fantasy. And then we're moving into a post-apocalyptic era, basically a collapse. And then moving into sci-fi, going back to the stars. So we've got our class preview. We had 11 classes, already unlocked 2 additional. I have high hopes we'll unlock 2 even more additional, meaning that we would release with 15 classes, which would be amazing. I love all the stuff we have coming up. So we've unlocked the Vessel and the Pugilist, and we will hopefully, if all goes well, I think we'll unlock the Magus, which is the Spellblade. Gish, I love the Magus. I'm about it. That's like one of my favorite class. I'm about it. That's like one of my favorite class types. It's one of my favorite tropes in tabletops. Is melee spellcasters. So I'm very excited for the Magus, and I'm very excited for the Scion, which is going to be basically what Mage is to Arcane, Scion is for Psionic. They will do the meta, the psychometabolics, the psycho projection, the telekinesis. It's going to be really cool. I have Scion class. We unlock that. It's going to be really cool. Lineages, we've unlocked a ton of lineages. We have a lot of really cool lineages too, from the kind of traditional elf and dwarf to Kleppen, which is really fun. Fun fact, Kleppen internally, Andrea referred to Kleppen as rodent folk, which I hate, but they're critter folk. They're not fucking they're critter folk. They're not rodent folk. So we've got, squirrel, chipmunk, bunny, which I think is really fun. Basically sentient critters. But we've also got a lot of like more traditional, human, dwarf, elf stuff. If you're into that, then of course our dragonkin, so on and so forth. And we've unlocked quite a few lineages, and I think we'll unlock even more. And our my favorite Skyrim build currently is Spell Sword. Yeah, I love that play style. I love the idea of like making yourself more powerful through magic, and then just like that feeling of like coming down someone with a sword with one hand and then blasting a fireball with your left hand is just really, really fucking cool. When does this release? I'm so ready to start my group on this. William, the Kickstarter runs through April 15th ish, and then from there it will release in. Playtesting will start in July, and then the full release is slated for around January for the website to go live, and that's when we'll start shipping physical products too. So everyone should have their physical stuff in hand by February. The rules should all be available by like January, and everyone who is backed the project should have access to things starting in as early as July, like in a couple months here. So we're really excited for that. Great question. I hate rodents. They're in our house at the moment. That's possum folk. Yeah, possum folk, rat folk, that type of stuff. I want an insect lineage. Interesting. I think I'm not supposed to say this. This is a little bit of a sneak peek. Don't tell anyone I told you. This is just the people in here who are watching that get to know this. Everyone's slower our voice a little bit. Make sure no one hears us. Because I don't think I'm supposed to tell you this. But I think it got removed. It did. There is an insectoid race in the $200,000 goal, which I said trending right now. If we keep our current daily, what we're getting a day now, we'll probably unlock this. And there's the Clickary, which is an insectoid race in that, but I wasn't supposed to tell you that. I didn't tell you. It wasn't me. You didn't hear it from me. William, I'm going to go support. I love to... Hey! I love hearing that. That's why we're here. More support, more people in the family, more friends to play MythCraft with. Many people as we can get over here on the Kickstarter, the better. So we've talked a little bit about the super eons. That's really fun. Let's talk about the magic system. Magic in MythCraft is going to be almost completely different than anything you've ever played before. It's another one of the more unique things about the game. So like we've got our action point system, which is very unique. I don't think any game has done action points like we're doing it. Some people take their traditional action economy and they wipe it and they give action points in place of bonus action movement. But they don't actually put in action points as a resource. So meaning a resource that you can manage and spend more how you want to, which opens up tactics, opens up strategy, opens up cinematic things, you can choose what you do on your turn. It's a lot more fun. I don't think anyone has death points. The magic system is also completely unique. We have 5 sources of magic, and the 5 sources of magic will interact with each other in varying ways. So each source of magic will be stronger than 2 sources of magic and weaker than 2 sources of magic in different ways. So the 5 sources are arcane. Arcane magic is people who have they study, they learn, they tap into the fundamental source of magic in the world. They tap directly in, which can be a little dangerous. We've got the divine, The divine source of magic, there is a intermediary. So they're not tapping directly into the fundamental source. They're getting their powers from a deity who is tapped into that source. So someone who has already, not someone, but a god figure is giving them that power. Psionic is inherent. It is from the mind. Is it like rock, paper, scissors, magic edition? I mean, when you say it like that, it's a little bit of an oversimplification of what it is. But I mean, that's essentially the right concept. You're hitting the nail on the head there. The psionic source of magic is inherent. That is the power of your mind and pushing yourself past your perceived limits. The occult is tapping into other beings who have opened themselves up to occult magic. It's siphoning power from like a powerful fiend or devil or demon, or being granted power, like traditional warlock patronage. And then primal is the environment, the world around you, nature. So like psionic, for example, is very selfish magic. It's like using magic for yourself, and primal magic is more environmental. So you might get two similar effects. Like I said, everyone will have something only they can do, but you might get things from multiple places. Like I used fly as an example before. Let's also use like running really fast. Primal and psionic might both have a way to move faster, but the primal would be flavored as like strong wind at your back and like the earth clearing before you. And psionic would be flavored as literally unlocking the part of your brain that doesn't move your legs as fast as they should, like a fucking mama bear, you know what I mean, lifting a tree off their baby. Still magical, but that's kind of the difference there. 5 sources of magic, and each one of the sources of magic will have a unique spell list. And you'll get access to those from either going directly into source talent stacks or by getting it from a class talent stack. I'm going to pause on magic for a second because I'm sure people have some magic questions. I also want to drink a coffee. It doesn't. Ryan Woodland asks, how does this magic system work in the first stage campaigns with little to no magic? It doesn't. The pre-magic campaign setting, the pre-history campaign, will be low to no magic, which is fun. So, you know, we've got our main release setting, Super Eon 2, and that's going to be kind of like what you would call the traditional base game. And then we're doing creative rule breaking with the prehistory campaign, with the post-apocalyptic campaign. With the prehistory campaign, it is, well, what if magic was taken away? Not taken away. What if there was no magic? So you're going to have very light magic. You might have some primal magic, you might have some psionic magic, but it will be rare, very rare. So the game is modular. We have our class talent stacks. We can just take a stack of talents and remove them from the game and put them in the fucking garbage. Bless me. The post-apocalyptic campaign setting will be taking away mundane things. You know what I mean? That's going to be for the people who want to play a game where they're worried about their encumbrance, they're worried about their food, they're worried about their water, they're worried about scavenging, they're worried about resources. You know what I mean? Do they feed their beasts of burden the food to get the cart to the next town, or do they eat so that they can stay strong? The post-apocalyptic campaign is taking away mundane things. The prehistory campaign is taking away magic. You can kind of play the game you want to play, and we get away from all this like arguing. You know what I mean? So like, tabletop players love nothing more than to be right about things and to be like, encumbrance isn't fun. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna give you a one-liner about encumbrance. You know what I mean? Fuck those guys. Like, you need to be having fun with the game that you are playing, And some people love that shit. Obviously, there's tons of games of like that. And I'm one of them. I love creative restrictions. I think restriction is really fun way to play a game. I think taking away different resources and letting and then figuring it out, that's a lot of fun for me as a player and as a DM. So MythCraft is just going to have that built into the game. If you want to play a low magic campaign, go there. I don't necessarily care for that. I love magic users, but you can play a fully martial campaign in a, fight like kaiju and stuff like that. You can go over there. And then you can also play post-apocalyptic and do more mundane things, worry about food, drink, water, shelter, things like that. Or you can do the traditional high fantasy campaign right there in the middle. And we got you, because it's MythCraft, and we're crafting myths together. Are magic sources fairly distinct, or is it just a difference of spell list? They are distinct. That was probably the most recent thing we really stopped and fixed, was the sources being unique. They will be unique both in flavor, and there will be some things that only certain sources can do. And then the source of the magic is also really important. So like arcane magic, you're literally tapping into the fundamental source, and that can be dangerous. The primal source is the world around you, is the environment. So the sources are different in every way. They're different mechanically, they're different roleplay wise. There's a difference with how you get them. They're pretty different. I hope that answers your question. Is there... So yeah, prehistory campaign will have no magic, or low magic. We'll call it low magic, because there would be some occasional primal, some occasional psionic magic. Is there going to be guns and some gun balance? Yeah, absolutely. In the sci-fi campaign and beyond, there will be a ton of new items for sci-fi. And magic in sci-fi is going to work the exact same way that it does now. I think we'll probably take... I think for the sci-fi campaign, we would be looking at perhaps some of the sources being gone. So I think you would have psionic magic in the campaign for sure. You might not have primal, occult, divine. So you might be looking at a distant future sci-fi. I'm not committing to anything. Shut the fuck up. Don't clip me. But the sci-fi campaign will definitely have psionic magic at least, and then may have some arcane magic as well. But it's going to be less important if you have magic, because technology will be so far advanced. Sorry, Rick says, sorry if I missed this, but how are you approaching differentiating features and capabilities of lineages versus backgrounds? Don't be sorry. We're so glad you're here, Rick. Glad to have you. Welcome to MythCraft. I hope you have a nice warm or cold drink and that you are having a good day, or had a good day, depending where your time zone is. This coffee is my life right now. We did answer that, and I will gladly also, I'll repeat this until my lungs give out. Every choice that you make will have something that only you can do. So each lineage will have something only that lineage can do. Each class will have something only that class can do. Each stack will have something only that stack can do. So on and so forth. There will be, but not everything will be totally unique. So there will be something that is completely custom to your lineage and class and magic source that only you can do. But like flying, for example, there'll be multiple ways to fly. Not everything will be totally unique. So the approach, the design philosophy is not everything needs to be totally unique. Like multiple people can fly. You can fly because you're a bird. You can fly because you have angel wings in the divine stack. You can fly because you took a potion of fly. You can fly because you cast a levitation spell on you, right? That's something that's like a little bit easy to give as an example of a lot of people can do. But I don't know, the lineages will have something that only they can do. I don't know why I can't think of an example off the top of my head, and I don't want to pull up my notes in front of everyone. But
Will I be able to wreck history by time traveling? No, you will not be able to wreck history by time traveling. That is one of the first rules of the universe, is that what happened, happened, and it mattered, and it was important, and the stakes were high. There's no going back and undoing anything. What happened, happened, period. There is not going to be time travel. This is going to be similar to the Homebrew universe. If you are from the Homebrew, a D&D Play podcast, you will know that you can stop time. Very, very, very extremely powerful people. We're talking like max level spell shit, not like everyday occurrence, but people can slow or stop time. But I think the most anyone can go back in time in the Homebrew, even the most powerful god level creator, can go back 6 seconds in time. But there's also like time wobbliness, where someone maybe like took some journey in some weird warp hole, and for them it was 6,000 years, but then when they come back to the world, it's only been like a couple weeks. That type of like dilation is possible, but you will not be able to go back in time. Period. 100%. No movement on that decision. It is a core part of my game design, and if you're here for any of the shows, you'll know that what happened, and it mattered. And I'll say that phrase until I'm blue in the face. What happened, happened. There you go. Now take a sip. That's magic. Really fun. Loving the magic. We have our items, and so I've already talked about items a little bit. I did want to say that some of the most powerful magics in the world will be tied to items and artifacts instead of like several level 20 wizards getting access to Wish. There might be like one specific item that requires like some sort of great sacrifice who might let you cast the Wish spell. And then the DMs can simply not put that item in the game. Sniff, sniff. You want time travel? Woo! Are there any examples of classes yet? Yeah, Alex, there's actually a full demo. Let me grab the link here. You can get 4 full character sheets and a 30-page demo of the game, and it has some monster blocks, and even has a little map, and it has tokens, and you can 100% check out the game. And there are examples of 4. There's the Rogue, Cleric, Witch, and Berserker. Brain. I was like, I know there's 4. You can check out all 4 full 4-page character sheets there. Easy peasy. We talked about the eras a little bit. MythCraft is for everyone. So this is a question that came up a little bit earlier, and I just want to touch on it again. I think that not everything we're doing is everything to everyone. We definitely don't want to try to just chase around what everyone wants. We want to make a unique game that isn't, so on and so forth. The one place where we do want to be everything to everyone is we want MythCraft to be for everyone. And we're willing to chase that moving goalpost around to make this game something everyone can play if they want to. How are we doing that? I don't want that to just be words. Where's the camera? The game's fucking free. So if you're here supporting the project, thank you. But MythCraft's literally for you, whether you can support the project, get a physical book, or not. You can just wait for the game to come out, and then you can just have it. It's yours. The game's fucking free. Like, it can't get any more, if our goals are to make the game for everyone, it doesn't get more for everyone than that. The whole fucking game is free. We believe that we don't have to juice our players and juice the DMs for our revenue. We believe we can put on Kickstarters and do physical products and do dice and do plushes and do books, do really cool book covers, and like make people want to spend their money and to want to support the projects, and then send them really cool shit. And if you can't do that, we still want you to play the game. And we're not talking like a sample or a free demo. Or we're not talking about like some of the games free and there's no paywalls, there's no subscriptions, there's no, oh, I can unlock the premium edition of MythCraft to get more shit later. We're not doing any of that. Put me on the record. It's on the Kickstarter already, but the game's fucking free. That's thing one. Thing two, we decided to do 3 levels of character creation. There's the pre-built characters where you literally just get a pre-built character. You get the sheet, you know what you're taking every level, and the character is, you know, maybe not like min-maxed, but they're iconic to what their class should be. It's like, this is how you play a berserker in the eyes of MythCraft. This is a traditional berserker. This is a traditional, you know, warrior. Those pre-builds will be, I even have some like backstory and stuff too. Then there's going to be like the suggested build paths where we will give you some like key talents to take a look at, and you can kind of like follow and then do a choose your own adventure. Maybe you want to like branch off. Maybe you're like, I'd rather take this time. I'd rather take this. And then of course there's the full character creation, the customization, the robust options in MythCraft, where you can choose your lineage, become a level 1 adventurer, take your talent. Level 2, take a talent whatever fucking class you want. And the next level, you could take a fucking level in a totally another class. So you could fucking go off. You can go off into whatever fucking path you want to. There are a ton of options. The number of unique character builds is like incomprehensible just because of the number of talent points that we have. Do y'all have any sensitivity readers like to ensure there's not a Hadozi situation in 5e? You know, we don't have anyone on staff right now. We're definitely at the core of the game trying to avoid real life conflict and trying to make a fantasy world where like it's not an issue. Not obviously it's always going to be an issue. You know what I mean? But like in our game, we're trying to, what's an example instead of me saying words? If there's a frontier town and you're governing a frontier town, the inference might be that there's some sort of like colonization arc going on and that you're like perpetuating that colonization. In MythCraft, however, that is not the case. We're not putting like fantasy racism in. We're not putting like fantasy colonization in. We're avoiding that at the core. That's like step 1 that we've done. And then step 2, we have some people who are proofreading it specifically for that. They're not contractors. They still work here. And I know that that's kind of like when you get to the size of Wizards of the Coast, you can have third parties do it, which I think is ideal. I do think that's the best way to do it, is to have third party people. But in a small indie company like ours, we just can't afford something like that. So it's going to have to be done internally. And then we'll have to lean on our playtesters and our fans to tell us if we mess something up. Hopefully we don't. You know, obviously the plan is to just not mess anything up. But we can't bring in contractors at scale like some of these other businesses can. So no, we don't have sensitivity readers. I appreciate the accountability though, and we hopefully will grow to the point where that's something that we can do. But you know, in general, the general philosophy is we're not trying to play with it. We're not trying to piss anyone off. We're not trying to like write any lines, or we're not trying to like create any controversy. We're not trying to like get attention that way. It's just we're trying to avoid we're trying to stay above reproach. We're trying to just stay away from it entirely. Are you headed towards lineages having stat specific bonuses? Will players typically choose their lineage to complement their class? They might. Like, there's the option there. They can definitely choose to complement. I don't think there are stat bonuses though for choosing your lineage. It's like it's passive abilities or abilities that you'll get. So we've got the character pre-builds. We've got the free, of course, so on and so forth. MythCraft is for everyone. It has the stuff that you want, the stuff that you crave. Character creation. We talked about that a little bit. You guys have asked me a lot of questions on that. So if you have any character creation questions, Please check out the Kickstarter. Please check out the demo or pop them in chat. I'm happy to take questions. Please keep asking me questions. But I've talked about it so much, I don't think I'm going to linger. Talked about this. I love this picture. This super cool layout. Colors. Jake Neese design the layout and the way that the books are going to look. I'm really excited for that. I'm just now... I wonder if Jake's still in here. How can I make it bigger? Okay, let me open this up over here. You guys see that? I think I spotted a mistake. It only took my 3rd review to find it. I don't even know if it's a big deal. How do I find this? There we go. Back so you can see. Everyone take a nice long sip of your monster or coffee or tea or whatever. I can't find it now. What the heck? Well, now I can't find it to look closer, but unless I'm crazy, there's like... Look, there's like a little, there's like a difference in the spacing here. Remember when World of Warcraft used to say that World of Warcraft used to say that, I can't remember what it was, that Tauren couldn't be rogues? Is that what it was? Tauren couldn't be rogues because of hooves or something. I can't remember what I was talking about. There was a whole thing with which races could be which classes in World of Warcraft. And one of them was I think Tauren couldn't be rogues. And yeah, dwarf rogues are cool. I don't know why I don't know why anyone would ever restrict that. You think in the far future there might be a video game for MythCraft? Man, that would be insanely, amazingly fun. Some of my favorite video games are freaking based on tabletops. I love Divinity Original Sin 2, which I don't think is based on a tabletop, but it's still like that kind of game. I love Wasteland 3. Based on tabletops, I love Baldur's Gate. I love Pathfinder Kingmaker. I love Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I love that stuff. So I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, yeah, there's going to be a video game. But like, man, everything goes well. We keep growing this thing. We keep bringing people into the fold. We keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger Kickstarters, and we have more fans and people like the game and keep playing the game. I think it is inevitable that there will eventually be a video game in 10 fucking years. I don't know. Why not? Why not? Sure. Remind me in 10 years that I'd like there to be a video game. So we've got the campaign 1 setting, the Cloven Lands. Oh. Okay, if it's Larian, then 20 years. It's 10 years for us to get big enough, and then 10 years for them to actually produce a game. I don't know why I'm throwing Larian shade. I love Larian. Larian is the best. They're literally the best people. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. So we've got an entire campaign on release. This was just unlocked for funding the fucking thing, and we're funded. We're funded at 30K. I think we funded in 3 hours. So that is it. Clovenland is coming out, and it's going to be a ton of fun. This is going to be level 1 to 15 adventure, spanning 2 decades, and that's going to be the high fantasy Super Eon 2 adventure. I'm writing the prologue to that, which is the Heart of Vedrithis, which will give you an additional way to kind of start out the adventure. And then Nathan will be writing the whole adventure itself. Very exciting. Again, MythCraft is an entire system. It is not based on anything. It is not derivative of anything else. It is not something. It's not run with another engine. It is a whole new engine that we're running it on, and it's an actual engine. It's not arbitrary. It's not like the monsters have some rules and the players have other rules. It's an actual modular engine where you can take the ways that it works and you can take the rubrics and the math out of it and you can make another game because it's an engine. There's the MythCraft monster math, which makes the monsters act in the same way that the players do, so it simulates AP. Just like that chart I had mentioned where you can convert CR and so on into what a monster can do, you can also simulate AP for a monster. So you could, if you wanted to, as a MythCrafter, you could run AP for your monsters, but that would really slow it down. So what we're doing instead is we're simulating AP so that it's an actual real game engine that isn't built on itself. It doesn't need itself to run. It's not a I don't know. It's not a boat with a fan in the back blowing wind into the sail. It's an actual craft. It's an actual engine. So the attributes and defenses system. One thing that is very different from what you might be accustomed to is you have your armor rating and then 5 defenses. So there are no saving throws. There's no proficiency bonus. All that kind of stuff from what you might be used to is gone. There is now 5 defenses and the attacker always rolls the dice. So where you might be used to someone casts Fireball and then everyone rolls a save, that's not in MythCraft. In this game, the person casting the Fireball would roll a dice to attack everyone's reflexes, or Nathan has something weird about this. They attack their fortitude or something because it's really hot. I don't remember. They don't dodge a fireball. They resist the fireball for Nathan. So, anyways, you roll the dice one time against everyone's reflexes, and then they decide if they take damage or half damage. The people there's no saves. So it might seem like there's more to track, but there's really not. There's more ways to customize and build your character and make it stronger. But you already technically have, if you're playing Pathfinder, right, you have 6 saves. You just aren't mentally like, oh, I have this save and this save and this save, because it's laid out a little weird. You've got your score, and then you've got your saves. Then you have the saves you have proficiency in. And then you look when you roll the dice, and you look, okay, my save is this plus this, blah, blah, blah. So in this game, you just have your defense score, which is always equal to its corresponding stat plus 10. So your reflexes, unless you have a talent that is affecting it, it's your dexterity plus your reflexes. Nathan is in chat right now yelling about fireballs. So monsters might, well, not just monsters, anyone is, again, it's an engine. I can't talk like that. In the MythCraft engine, which is not a boat with a fan in the back, it's an actual engine. Anyone who is rolling a dice to attack might, as you can see in the example here with the wolf, it would roll to hit against the armor. And then if it did hit, you'd roll another d20 against the fortitude to see if you knock it prone. Moving on to action points. Let me take a break and see if we got any more questions. I want to be team if you start coding, Maxton. I'm already a pro. What are you talking about coding? I play, start coding. Oh, Maxton has committed to the MythCraft video game. You heard it here on camera, solidified for all of the world. Maxton will be making a MythCraft video game. It's just going to be a text game, though. That's still pretty fucking cool, though. Especially if it's like a point and click type game. That'd be really cool. Sorry. Tangent. I missed quite a bit of chat. Do you think in the far future, Max, first high fantasy? Yeah, first high fantasy. I don't know what I said. How much of the world's lore can you disclose at this point? Because there's something I definitely want to know more on. Hit me. Oh, that's something. I thought you meant there's something I'd want to know more on. I'm not going... If you have a question, I can maybe see if I can give you a little sneak peek. And I've got some people in chat who are also doing little sneak peeks. So maybe we can give you some sneaks. But I will say the lore is, by and large, in the draft phase, and it hasn't been like approved and is still subject to change and stuff. General curiosity. Yeah, no, I feel you. That is something we're still working on. So it's a team. It's not just me. So like I don't want to just say any of my ideas like it's written in stone, and I don't want any of the team to say their ideas that haven't been like approved or anything yet. So we're going to make sure the lore is not just like a Frankenstein 6 people's ideas crammed together. It's going to be a real story, real lore. Hold on 1 second. Eat. Just saw it when I was... Action points. Action points. Political question mark? I don't know what political question mark means. Political? Am I political? Is that what you're asking? Okay, action points. You gain a set amount of AP. So everyone starts with an AP pool. There are lots of different ways to visualize this. It really depends on how your brain works. One of the things I love about the game is how intuitive it is and how intuitive it is to get AP and hold over AP and all that. And I also love that you can kind of like choose your own adventure when it comes to like tracking it. So some people just like to have a number and they'll basically like move a slider down to what the number is. I personally like the idea, and when I was playing with my, again, I say the game's intuitive because I've played this with literal children and they could figure it out with this token system. So the tokens, token system is you have 3 AP, and then you would like slide the any AP you have left over at the end of the turn, you'd slide into your reactive action pool, and then you'd have reactive action points. Those reactive action points can be spent on reactions. So no one gets an attack of opportunity just for, so you have to think about AP as a resource. No one gets extra AP just by default. They have to save their AP to take that extra attack in a turn, even if it's an attack of opportunity. That attack of if you were to have the ability to make an attack of opportunity and you don't take any action on your turn, you could move all your action points, hypothetically, that you can into your reactive action pool, and then you can make several attacks. Then whatever you have left over at the start of your next turn, you add your action point pool to whatever was left over in your reaction pool, and then you have held AP. So say you have 3 AP and you attack once, and then you hold over that last AP. Say it takes 2 AP to attack. You hold over that AP, and then you don't spend that. On your next turn, you'd have 4 AP. You'd have 1 AP to take a reaction on your turn. If you didn't take a reaction, you'd have that AP on your next turn. So it's an actual resource. It's not just a default attack of opportunity or a default reaction. You have to actually have the ability to have taken that action in a round. There is some limits to how much AP you can hold over, which is half your level rounded up is how much AP you can hold over max, and you can never have more than 20 AP. AP is really cool. Play through it, and you will love it. I can assure you. Everyone who has playtested the game, I think that's one of the first things they say is that they like the AP system. So try it. Try the demo. You didn't know there's a demo. There's a demo. Yeah, I'm running low on time. I've been live for goodness 2.5 hours. I'm going to skip through some stuff and take a look at the tiers, and then I'm got to go to work. And I have the homebrew to record tonight. So I would just stay on and stream with you guys forever, but yeah. Ryan asks if you can hold over AP outside of combat. No, you cannot. So there's specific rules about how much AP you can have when combat starts, and so on and so forth. But no, you cannot hold AP into a next combat round. That gets into like surprise rules and things like that. The rounds are basically your coordination is a simulation of like how much you can do in a set amount of time. So it's not just your speed, it's your training, it's your coordination, and it's the opportunities that you're taking, so on and so forth. So the levels here, we've got our MythCraft founders. Darned responsibilities. Yeah. I would honestly, if I could choose my own adventure right now, I would just stream for a month. I would just stream and then go to you know what I mean? Then I would go to my family and have my night, and then wake up the next morning and then stream all day and then blah blah blah. But I have another company named Vala Marketing, one of the largest marketing agencies in the Midwest. You can check us out, valamarketing.com. We have some clients you've probably heard of. And those people need me. And I have tasks. I have stuff to do. I have adult, grown-up things to do. I have stuff to market that's not myself. I have to market other people for a while now. That's what it is. So let's go through the tiers. MythCraft Founder. This is basically you get your name goes in the book, which I think is really cool, and then you get access to play the game in July instead of next January. So you get to be involved with the progression of the game and the different mechanics and some of the questions you've been asking. You get to be involved in answering those, right? Like, do you like the system? Does this lineage feel unique? Did you feel like you had something you could do on your turn? Things like that. You'll get to be involved with those types of decisions. And you'll also get early access to the Discord, which means more access to everything that's going on. And just, you know what I mean? It's just basically joining the team. I don't really know how else to say it other than like, you're helping us bring this thing to life. If you're at the $15 tier, you could just wait for the game to come out. And I know that, and I respect that. And I want that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I'd love to have your support, but I get that you could just wait for the game to come out. So, like, I'm extra thankful for you for supporting the project. And my $15 tier backers are among my favorites because they're just doing it for the, you know what I mean? They're doing it for the game. They're doing it for the community. The core set gets you what you need to play the game, which is the core rulebook. This is going to be 350 plus pages. And it's going to be like the player handbook. Anyone can play the game with the core book. You may not be able to necessarily MC with it unless you use the online resources. But this is going to be a really nice, probably hardcover book. Everything is going in the direction of being a hardcover book. And I've had some people say, that's a really good price. And I've had some people be like, why is it so expensive? Why is the book so expensive? The book is $50 because we're an independent fucking publishing company. and I cannot compete. So when Mages on the Beach orders a hardcover book, they aren't ordering 500 books. They're ordering probably 10,000 plus books. And they're ordering them. They have like dedicated vendors that they have deals with. They probably have like customs stuff going on. They have people who can fulfill this for them. They don't, you know what I mean? Chris Perkins is not putting books in a box and writing your name on the label and popping it in the UPS box. You know what I mean? Like, this is not us making a bunch of money. This is just what it costs to get you a book. We have to pay people. We cannot compete with $30 for a hardcover book. Now, granted, it's going to be a much better book. There's going to be a lot more love and passion put into it. And you know what I mean? This art was made for you, so on and so forth. So you know we cannot... What is this song? It's distracting the shit out of me. Did you hear that? How the hell am I supposed to focus through that? That's why the book's $50. That is actually a good cost. It is a good cost. It is a good cost if you go look at other rule books and don't just look at Mages on the Beach. You'll see that's a good cost. $100 is the core box. This gets you both of the magazines. Again, that's about 100 additional pages. They're really cool magazines. They comes in the nice box. This would be like what you'd see on the shelf in a store. And then you also get the character sheets, which is really cool. Core box is just that. That's the core box. That's like the retail game. MythCrafter's Essential Bundle is where it starts to get good. This is I just realized I wrote this is where it gets good. I think the two best values are the 250 and the 180 tier. I think the 250 tier is where the money's at. This is the best deal that we have. This is where you can get the most stuff, so on and so forth. But the MythCrafters Essentials Bundle gets you 3 fucking hardcover books. 3 hardcover books. I can't wait to get a fucking stream so I can blow my nose. 3 hardcover books, 4 quick start guides. So this is if you're a MythCrafter, if you're running a game, if you're running a table, you'll have 4 quick start guides. Basically, you can run a game with this. So you give out the quick start guides, you have everyone pick a pre-built character, you have the creature compendium, you have the players, their core rulebook, and you have the MythCrafters guide. This is everything you need to run a game. This is all the physical products that you would need. It also has the DM screen, which is super cool. And that's our cover artwork expanded. This is a really, really good value. Just the 4 quick start guides is a $40 value. The screen is $12 value. The creature compendium is $40. The MythCrafters guide is $40. The core rulebook is $50. This is a really, really, really good value, in my opinion. The best value, however, is 100% the collector's edition. I'd like to point out the alternative cover. This is a Kickstarter exclusive. We're only printing this for the Kickstarter. You cannot get this anywhere else. Only the things that we print that first run is the only time you're going to be able to get access to that cover. And if you get one, you get one. If you don't, you don't. So it's not like you can go back later and just buy the alt cover. You love the game takes off. It's a super popular. These, whatever reprint of these are going to be very exclusive. And we're committing to, even though it's a really cool cover and it's going to be really awesome. This is illustrated by Jake Neese, who has been in chat a little bit. He's our creative director. This is hand illustrated and it is exclusive. You can only get this with the collector's edition. I want to be clear. I do not want anyone crying to me in a year when the store goes online for e-commerce and there's no alt covers. Because the only way you're getting an alt cover after Kickstarter's over is if you buy one from someone who got the collector's edition. So you literally have to get it here. That's a $90 value. Again, never reprinting. You also get those really cool dice that I talked about earlier. Those are 16 millimeter sharp edge resin. They are really, really great dice. They're made from Fanroll Dice, who's our partner. You can go to fanrolldice.com, check out what they do. They're previously known as Metallic Dice Games, that company. Your game store, if you go to a physical game store, you know Fanroll Dice. They just changed their name recently. But they're an orange and black, sharp edge, hand polished. The sharp edge, they don't roll quite as much as like tumble dice, which are the rounded edge. They have a really nice look and feel to them. They're slightly translucent, and there's like a mylar inside that gives them that kind of like effect. Get the official DM screen. You also get signed art prints. I do not know which art we're going to print off yet. I'll probably let our founders vote on what those prints are going to be. So you'll get 3 or 4 posters from that too. And I didn't even put the value on that. Like, like that's just, we're just doing some of this stuff, which is really cool. And those will all be signed by, you know, if we do a print, poster print of any of the art, it'll be signed by the artist who did it. Got some really talented artists working with us. We've got our retailer tier. This is for, you know, verified retailers who are going to be selling their books in their store, which very excited about. William, my support is in. Round of applause for William, everyone. Thank you, William, so much for supporting. We're so glad to freaking have you on board. Tell your friends, tell your family, call your grandma up, tell her, be like, Grandma, check out MythCraft, please. Or whoever, call someone. Call one friend. If everyone calls one person and gets them to sign up, and then that person gets 4 people, and then we're starting a pyramid scheme. So 500, so 250. As I mentioned, this is where the most value is. This is where you really get the best bang for your buck. The coolest tier is the 500 tier, though. So bang for your buck, go with the 250. You want the cool shit, go for the 500. You get to put yourself into the game. Salad ass, happy hump day to you too. I love saying hump and ass in the same sentence. That was weird. Happy Wednesday, salad toss. Salad ass. Salad toss? Salad ass. William is the hero of the stream. That's all I gotta say. Hero of the stream. So in the special counsel package, 3 hours is like my cap, guys. Like my focus is really starting to go. I need to either need to practice this or I just need to plan on sticking to 3 hours. My whole gaming group was just 7 more players. William, you're my favorite person right now. Name an NPC and receive a special thank you and credit. So, I mean, this is literally immortalizing yourself in the fucking game forever. Like, you're literally naming an NPC and naming an item. Now, I say name. We didn't say create an NPC. We didn't say create an item. That's because we don't want anyone to put, like, no offense, salad ass in the game and have them be like a whatever. But we want to be able, and we want to be able to let people choose the lineage, a little bit about the NPC, so on and so forth. Like, we'd like to offer that. We're just only committing to the name in case we have someone really difficult who's like trying to create a character that wouldn't fit in the world, or is just a meme, or is just a joke, or too memey. We don't want to do that type of thing. So we're committing to a name, but what we'd like to do is we'd like to be able to put an NPC or an item in the game and then put the print right there, thanks to whatever name you give us on Kickstarter. And we'll put you right there in the book, which is about as fucking cool as it gets. You also get a promotion on Discord. You get first access to the next thing that we do. Whatever our next Kickstarter is, whatever our next project is, whatever the next thing that we're doing, you're going to get it first. You're going to hear about it first. You're going to get it first. If you're a TipTap supporter on the Homebrew, which is our top tier of Patreon, then you know we take really, really fucking good care of our top tier supporters, and we make sure that they get some exclusive access to the team. There's a pledge breakdown graphic with some cool little chests, unlocked chests. There's our stretch goals. I'm going to say this one last time before I get my ass to work. My bad. I don't think anything's too bad. before I get back to work, I just want to say one last time. Right now, we're trending towards exactly $197,000. So if we get the same, taking the first day out, if we get the same average level of support every day for the end of the project, we'll come in at $197, which is just under the post-apocalyptic campaign setting. I think we'll unlock hardcover book upgrade potentially before the end of the week, which would be really cool. And I think it's realistic that we could get to 150. Now, if we can hold course, then we just need a little bit extra to get to that 200,000. Just a little bit of an extra push, which I'm hoping will come in near the end once the FOMO starts to kick in, once it's last chances. So we do need a little bit extra to get to the 200K. And it's looking like if everything holds course, we'll get to the 100, the 150. Now, if we get all the way to 400, this is my stretch goal. I'd like to see, like, say we get into some major Discord server, or some major streamer checks us out on stream, or we get some sort of really good review from somebody or something like that, and things like double or triple start taking off more, then I think we can get to this 400K, which is our plushies. And I am personally, that's where I'd like to see everything come in, would be right at the plush level. I really want to produce these plushies. We've got 3 adorable little creatures that we can show you. Here, I'll put them on stream real quick before I leave. I just realized my Be Right Back screen is gone. So, where do we go here? So this is the baby stone shark. This is a amphibious beach creature that hides in the sand when it grows up, grabs unsuspecting travelers, sucks them back into the ocean, and eats them, of course. And has like these complex like systems inside of the coastal areas there. That's our stone shark. Grows up to be like a very crocodile mole type creature. And this is the Tothaluglet. These guys, man, the light's really washing that out. Sorry. Now I'm dark. What the heck? So these guys are terrifyingly cute little creatures, and they grow more tentacles as they grow up, getting all the way to the ancient side where they just have a mass of tentacles, and they're just a tangly mass of tentacles. And yeah, this is the Tothaluglet, or which will grow up to be a Tothalug. We got these guys. 500K would be something major would have to happen for us to get to 400 or 500K. Not saying it won't, like we still got 20 days, but I only want to plan on the current rate we're going. And the current rate, if everyone just gets a little bit more of the word out, if everyone tells a few more of their friends, if everyone posts a little bit more on social media, if everyone does that, we can get to that 200K level. Just need a little bit extra to push through to that. And that is the post-apocalyptic campaign, which I think is really, really freaking cool. So yeah, tell your friends, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for going over this. William, thank you for backing the project. I'm so glad we got a backer out of this. I was really hoping I would see some live backing from the stream, which of course makes me just want to stream even more, even though you know, I've got life and time. Definitely, yeah, look at that number going up. Love it, everybody. Thank you so much. We have smashed expectations, blown through some stretch goals, well on our way to get into that 200K level. Tell your friends, share on social media, post in your Discord, post in your friend group, tell people, try the demo. If you do try the demo and you post a video of it or you post anything, make sure that you, there's a little readme in the demo folder. And there's an email address you can send it to us. And if you send it to us, then we'll schedule it. I'm gonna hop off and go do my other work and so on and so forth. I'll be around on Discord all day. Links are in the video down here if you want to go to the Kickstarter, or if you want to join the Discord. There are 2 links down there. I might try to do this again next Wednesday if you all come hang out with me. I think that would be amazing. If everyone come hang out with me next Wednesday, I might do this again. Check out the links, and if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button. Really appreciate that. That little click that really helps us out too. I will see you all around. Talk